what up, partners? It's Kyle Figley here on WizardUniverse.com, and it is time for The Great Debate, the feature where myself and another member of the Wizard staff quibble over some weird piece of comic book news. I'm here with Associate Editor Andrew Serwin, and this week we are talking about digital comics. I'm in the pro-digital comics camp across the board. I'm a guy that really likes to read comics online. I enjoy reading normal Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, whatever kind of books that get put online, and reading the page, 22-page pamphlet online. I like webcomics. I think it's a great outlet for people to dig into what is going on in the industry and really enjoy comics. Andrew, tell me why I'm wrong.
Because, Kyle, you're going to get a hernia hauling your iMac into the toilet, which is, I think, probably 80% of people who are really into comics, who consider themselves a true fanboy. They want portability. And not to be too scatological, but comics are also a sensory sort of experience for me. I want to feel the pages in my hand. I want to act out the sound effects with my own voice sometimes. I want to talk in the characters' voices. I want to smell the pages. I want to smell my comics. There's nothing more of an aphrodisiac for me than the smell of an old comic that I've just pulled out of a bag and a board. And that is something you do not get from the internet, or interweb, as I like to call it.
The interweb, that old-timey interweb. I don't know what it does. Well, you know, I think it's true. There's a collector mentality, and there's a lot of people who like to buy their comics and save their comics. But I think, you know, really, we're going to see in the next couple of years a big shift, because if you look at, you know, webcomics, I know that the Perry Bible Fellowship just has been on the web for years and gets lots of hits, and people really enjoy it. And then Dark Horse finally put out a hardcover collection in conjunction with the artist. And I think that, do you think that more these days we're going to see comics on the internet, and if people like them on the internet enough, don't you think that eventually they will make their way to print, and that we can have the best of both worlds?
Absolutely. And I'll say right now, I'll be the first person in line to buy any kind of ebook that comes in standard comic format size, that doesn't weigh any more than a comic, and that can show full color comic artwork, and with added sound effects would be a bonus. But until we reach the year of Blade Runner and the Jetsons, we probably won't have something like that. So a Fred Flintstone type like me, I want to roll up a comic and stick it in my back pocket on the way to the toilet.
All right. Now, one last thing I do want to bring up on the digital comics debate, and which was kind of what kickstarted this entire thing on the internet, was that Boom Studios put out Northwind #1, a new series of theirs, and the day the comic hit shops, they put the entire issue online. And to me, that reads as a promotional tool. If you want to check out the comic, here's the whole thing, read it, enjoy it, and then, you know, go and buy it if you've really enjoyed it. And then I know some retailers were saying that they thought it really undercut them a little bit, because if you put all of the issue online, not just a few preview pages, it can hurt their bottom line, because people won't want to come in and buy it. But it sounds to me, would you say that even if you read an entire first issue online, would you go and buy the comic just to have the paper version?
Absolutely. And think about this. I mean, you're talking about a book from Boom Studios. And for something like that, I think the average man on the street isn't really going to know what Boom Studios is. But the kind of person who's going to go into a comic book store and buy the first issue of that will check it out online, and they will then go and pick up the comic book. I don't see the two things as mutually exclusive. It's a great promotional tool, but it's never going to replace actually having the comic book in hand. And I think, you know, from what Boom did, it's a great way to nab that person who's going to go into the comic book store anyway. Now, I don't know about you, Kyle, but I haven't seen too many Boom titles on the racks at my local Borders or Barnes & Noble. I'm pretty sure you can only get that stuff either online or go into your local comic book store.
Well, that's true, but I think that you may be undercounting that in the future there are going to be more readers who will only go online. I mean, I myself, I buy a lot of comic books pamphlet form and in trade paperbacks as well, but the more stuff I find online that I can read for free, I'll just read it online. You know, to me, it's about the reading experience, and I think in the future we're going to see a few more people who want it just online, and that might cause more drama.
And probably a lot more macular degeneration among our youth as their eyeballs melt out of their heads staring at a computer screen for 15 hours a day.
Oh, I can't wait till Charlie Gibson deals with that. Well, I think that about wraps it up here for the great debate. If you want to get any topics on your mind onto the video screen, go onto WizardUniverse.com and log onto the message boards and let us know what you guys are arguing about, and then tune in next time for more.